The sound of splats of failed attempts to devour us with their cooches thunders across the courtyard.
I've never seen clouds like that before!
Hello, friends. Trace amounts of alchemy. We're back into the urban witcher today. I think this should be the wrap-up. We've done 3 parts previously. If you've missed them, the links are in the description. Let's get into it. It's been 2 years since the first battle between neckbeards and the allied forces of normies. No one expected the creatures to form an army the first time. The social aspects of it defies their very nature. They were routed after a long and arduous conflict that saw the blood of incels and our own spilled across a barren field just outside an event center. After some deliberation, the allied forces joined under the leadership of a man named Darius. I had made my living killing the basement dwellers and looting their good boy point cards in exchange for tendies and honey mussy. That day I laid down the path and picked up the mantle of something bigger than myself. Total extermination. The monsters and their ilk could no longer continue to exist. At first, things went well. Homes were searched. The ones that could fit through the door were dragged out into the street. The sun would immolate them immediately. The smell of burning gristle and boiling seed lingered over many neighborhoods and apartment complexes for months. The daywalkers were hacked apart by sword and by axe. Their healthy frames made them easy to find and impossible to hide. We had become complacent. We'd all forgotten of the most important monster hunting rules. Never back your prey into a corner. What happened next shocked us all. A devastating counter-movement happened across the country, all in one day. Massive casualty reports streamed in. Monsters of all kind were fighting in unison, pushing back against our slow but thorough sweep. The neckbeards had evolved to cooperate. Their bitch mommies had been leased to chads for gratification in return for protection. History will never forget Good Boy Day. Detailed briefings of soldiers impaled on large meat spears came in, some of them 4 to 5 at a time. A Chad's skin cannon had been known to take down dozens of troops before they could be put down effectively. We were woefully unprepared. With the Chads, of course, came the Stacys, the Jocks, the Roasties, razor-sharp nail extensions, and virulent clouds of vape smoke drove our battalions back across all fronts. If only that were the worst of it. I could taste it in the air. My witcher senses picked up dried seed on the breeze. I spat on the ground and signaled my squad to move forward. The apartment complex we were tasked to clear had been abandoned by regular folk since GB Day. The creatures had taken advantage of their newfound power and killed those who couldn't or wouldn't flee. In many cities, you can still see throwing stars embedded in walls and Nihon steel gashes painted with dried blood. They now nest in these empty buildings like the rascal-riding rats that they are. 2 of my squad goes left across the courtyard. The remaining 2 follow me across the right. I give them the signal for weapons free. Swords and bows come into hands. Something doesn't feel quite right. I look up into the windows and something glances off of my face. An AirPod playing Cardi B falls to the ground.
Now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet and
Roasties! I shout. No sooner than I look back at my team, one of the creatures has dropped to the ground. Sergeant Sheila takes a last-second step back as the roastie falls onto the concrete with a splat where she just was. Its milky white eyes stare at her as it kicks off the ground from a split position. The suction force from the abomination's vagoo takes a large diamond-sized chunk from the pavement. Sheila takes a two-handed swipe at the beast, but it goes wide. Its large ASU t-shirt that it's wearing as a dress flutters in the wind as it lands on top of a nearby lamppost.
My God, she's agile. Be careful, Witcher.
From below, I can see its bloated beer belly jiggle, and now there's nothing left to my imagination.
Fuck your bad vibes, bro!
Its voice is shrill, and then croaks as I see white eyes appear all over the rooftops. "Get into the building!" yells Sheila as she grabs the soldier next to her. Another drops from high up and nearly misses him. The creature lands on a mailbox and swallows it whole with its ham wallet. The entire mailbox is gone as it kicks off back onto higher ground. Another drops from above me but is met with an arrow from across the courtyard. The shaft pierces its neck as Mango White Claw bleeds from the wound and stains its sport bra and assless yoga pants. The creature breaks its back on the nearby bench and dies with a short shriek. All of us sprint across the courtyard. The sound of splats of failed attempts to devour us with their cooches thunders across the courtyard.
I've never seen clouds like that before.
Okay, game face. The smell of tuna and natty ice reaches my nostrils and I stifle a retch. We make it to the awning over the entrance area, and we hold them off with crossbow bolts and arrows as Sheila pries the door open. Some have the side of their heads shaved, others have eyebrows tattooed on. All are bow-legged and going commando. I can't tell if they're feral or Chad-controlled. "Help me!" shouts Sheila. The door's been barricaded from the inside. 3 of us manage to push it open, and we all get inside the building. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. I can hear the monsters outside, devouring their dead as we pile furniture back against the door. Others are launching themselves vag first against the door, luckily to no avail. My eyes adjust to the interior. The halls are poorly lit by the setting sun outside. The windows are murky and unwashed. The scent of sweaty balls and festering seed is stinging my eyes. We all take dabs of vapor-rub from my satchel and dot them underneath our noses. Even my Witcher senses are going to struggle to smell anything through all of this. Judging by the roasties outside and the stench inside, our intel must have been good. We'll have to head to the roof to finish them off after we're done killing the nesters. Roasties are much easier to dispatch when they don't have the high ground. You underestimate my power, .gif. I can't see any lights on or hear any anime being played. Not sure if the power's on in this building at all. The dust on the floor is undisturbed, save for some drag marks along the tiles. Most likely a garbage bag full of tendies. If not for the smell, the thought of that many tendies would make me hungry. We keep in close formation and move down the hallway. We open doors to empty apartments. Many of the TVs and video games have already been looted. Fridges and freezers left wide open. Black, rotted food dripping out from them. Several couch cushions and children's stuffed animals appear to have been mated with.
This one's got the duck doing all the work.
I keep a close eye on the plush toys because I know it can happen if you don't.
I think it's advisable to burn them before anything happens, Witcher.
No sign of nesters have been here for quite an extended amount of time. This goes on for the next 2 floors as we ascend the complex. We find the occasional Raising Cane's box or My Hero Academia doujinshi, but otherwise, nothing. We've been here for a while now, and the sun's no longer giving out light. Since the others can't drink cat's eye, I give them the okay for a lamp to be lit. It's still so silent. They've been so unpredictable as of late. Would a neckbeard even nest this far up?
I mean, in my research, yeah, they're mostly subterranean, but they do seem to be evolving far beyond our control.
Stairs are a difficult obstacle for neckbeards to overcome. Are they getting supplied so they don't need to make trips? But then, why was the entrance barricaded from the inside? We're up to the 4th floor now, and I've seen no sign of anyone or anything. But then, why is that stench so overwhelming? We get to a door about 3 down from the end of this floor. I go to open it, and it's stuck. Come, help me with this. Sheila puts down the lamp, and with her and another soldier, we manage to slowly open the door, and we walk inside. A large couch has been pushed up against the door. Empty tendy bags are all over the floor. There's torn adult anime and Good Housekeeping magazines covered with wispy seed in a small pile in the corner. A mannequin with Belle Delphine's face duct taped to it rests in another corner.
Oh yeah, that one's definitely a relic at this point.
Belle Delphine, I have an eye fetish. Give me them eyeballs.
There are cereal bowls with Sharpie nipples on the torso. A pyramid of dewy cans has fallen over. Wads of impregnated toilet paper litter the ground like stiff tumbleweeds. In the center of the living room floor, there's an enormous rotting corpse. And with that, we carry on into the second part of Part 10. The thin skin of the corpse had become translucent, and you could see the skeleton's hands wrapped around a katana, going into its belly and somehow miraculously peeking out the back.
Must be the longest katana in the world.
The head leans limply to the side, but the fedora somehow managed to stay on. This Nestor had committed seppuku. Sir, Anderson's gone. I turn to see a worried soldier in the doorway. He was just here, and now he's gone. We ready weapons and step back out into the hallway. Nothing. I tell everyone to stay frosty. Something isn't right here. The silence has become deafening. I scan the ground and find fresh boot marks on the wall. They go fairly high up. Anderson was kicking it? I turn around to tell the others. Sheila and one of the other soldiers are facing me. Behind them, a long, thick dong is strangling the last member of our squad. I swiftly pull out my crossbow. Sheila and the other soldier duck as I fire a bolt into the shaft of that pink python. There's a yelp, and the member slithers back up into the ceiling as our squad mate drops to the floor. Back to back, now! Cover me! We rush over to him. He grasps at my chainmail as he struggles to breathe. That Peter had crushed his windpipe. His eyes are bulging, bleeding from all the broken blood vessels in them. He's trying to say something, but can't get enough air to say it. I pull him close and embrace him one last time. He goes limp as I break his neck. There's giggling coming from the ceiling. I can hear heavy junk being dragged in the air vents. You fool. They were in the vents the whole time, waiting for us to get just high enough so that we couldn't jump out the windows. Dwarves. Combo breaker!
Well played, Anand. The perfect moment. Okay, sure. Dwarves exist in this universe. Tell me about them, won't you?
Ceiling tiles fall down. Anderson is trying to scream. He's hanging from the ceiling. His pants are down, and he's being violated by one of the creatures. The only thing keeping him from hitting the ground is how far he's being penetrated.
This is awful. I need some air. Okay.
The unholy abomination is giggling with glee as the light from the lamp illuminates its face. With every push, its red cone cap rocks back and forth. Its small white beard is bristling with effort.
This is the wildest thing.
Its tiny flat teeth pressed into a psychotic smile. The private next to me drops his sword and reels back in horror. Sheila raises her sword up and swiftly cuts off Anderson's head. The dwarf screams as the corpse slides off and he quickly retreats into the vents. Gone as quickly as it came, like a trapdoor spider.
Yes, precisely like that.
The tip of that pendulous peen slides out the back of Anderson's disembodied head. That's why he couldn't scream. The private is catatonic. I grab him and pull him inside the apartment as the ceiling begins to vibrate. The giggling is everywhere. Sheila and I barricade the door. It all makes sense now. The smell, the emptiness. Dwarves eviscerate all things. They bang you till you die, and then they do it to your corpse until it is nothingness. The only reason we found the good boy in here is that they couldn't get to him. I've only ever read about these things. They were said to be extinct. My heart is pounding in my ears as the door begins being bashed on. Thick thwacks of meaty Johnsons being slapped against the wood. I can hear them trying to get in through the wall via the ceiling as well.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn wall!
What the fuck are we supposed to do now? Asks Sheila. The private hasn't moved. He's just staring at the wall. They fear fire, but they can't truly be killed unless you remove their testicles.
Scientifically, of course.
I'm gonna try and clear a path through them, but you have to take them and go back no matter what. Stay low. Don't you dare to look back and cut anything that moves. If I fall behind, don't come back for me. Understood? Sheila nods her head. She looks unsure about the plan, but steels herself regardless. While we were talking, the private stood and walked toward the window. Oh, shit. I start after him. He opens the window and effortlessly slides out head first. I couldn't make it to him in time. There's a crack against the pavement, quickly followed by landing noises.
Yeah, a bunch of snail trails coming towards him, huh?
I hear the flesh being pulled from his bones as the roasties feast upon him. Fuck me. I close the window. I look at Sheila. Her face never falters. A hardened soldier to the last. We get ready. I give her my firebombs. I go over to the corpse and pull out the katana. I rub the oily leftover blubber from its healthy frame along the cold metal blade. I go over to the door. The giggling is even louder now. There are stress fractures in the wood of the door. I pull the couch away and open it. A swarming pile of dwarves spills in. They were surprised by the sudden giveaway. Horrid things. 80% twig and berries. Some are flaccid. Others have a semi or are completely rock hard. No. Wait. All of them are over 4 feet long. Almost rivals a Chad. They begin to regain their composure, giggling as they bend their implements to quickly move about like an elephant's trunk. I jump back as a firebomb ignites them all. They screech and squeal, but it ultimately goes back to giggling. The giggling never stops. leap over the pile into the hallway, fat hogs coming at me from every direction. As I clear the mound of burning dwarves, the blubber on my katana lights. A bright blue flame engulfs the sword as the first cut slices into the horde of love pipes. They all lurch back. Now's our chance. I begin my attack down the hall towards the stairs. Another firebomb goes off as Sheila suppresses the other side and follows after me. The blue flame of my Nihon steel blade sets foes ablaze. I sever as many of the monster's nutsacks as I can and maim any that I can.
This is completely out of control and I love it.
We reach the stairway, and they're dropping from the stairwell onto us. As we ascend, I cut one in half bottom to top as another implement wraps itself around my neck. Before I can reach up to free myself, I hear the air whistle as Sheila's blade slices the dwarf's flesh skewer straight off. The fighting is tough. Many of the dwarves have regenerated since I couldn't get to their testes in time. Between my sword and the firebombs, the side of the building is catching fire. We finally make it to the roof. The fire and noise has scared off some of the roasties, but one launches at me as soon as I step out. I dodge to the side, and my katana cleaves through the creature's bowl-cut bangs as it takes the top of its skull clean off. One of its Ugg boots falls off as the corpse continues off the side of the complex. The dwarves have begun to burst out of the AC vents on the far side of the roof. The roasties that didn't immediately flee are soon swarmed over. I shudder as fresh nightmare fuel graces my eyes. The building is now in flames. The swarm is dying, but still determined to get to us. We're being pushed to the edge. The roar of the inferno does nothing to muffle the giggling. Always giggling. I take a backward glance over the edge. The last of the bombs shakes the air as it stalls the monster's advance. "Do you trust me?" I yell, over the clamor of giggling and burning. "Yes," she tells me. I grab her and pull her close. We lock eyes. In that moment, somewhere between death and chaos, her green irises were the most radiant thing that I'd ever seen. I kiss her as I take us backward over the edge. We crash into the awning below. The canvas broke most of the fall, but I have to take a moment to gather myself as Sheila is grabbing my arm and trying to help me stand up. We get to the street and watch as what looks like giant blazing wieners are falling off of the roof.
There's dwarves attached. You just can't really see them.
There's no telling what all this commotion's going to attract. She says, "We should leap back to base." And I catch a faint smile as I glance over to her. We walk down the road, the light from the fire brightening our path, the deaths of my squad still darkening my thoughts.
Now, there is a side story called the Slurpee incident, but that seems like it's the end of the original Witcher saga. Sort of a schmaltzy ending, if you'd ask me, but every hero deserves to get the gal in the end, and yeah, they obviously share a love for fight. Although fraternization's not great for a military structure, Witcher seems more like a lone wolf anyway. I had an exchange in the comments with one person who said that they were introduced to this channel by the Urban Witcher, and he said that the Urban Witcher would hate the new t-shirts we made over on Teespring that says you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, that it would be a little bit too saccharine. And here is proof positive that even the Witcher would disagree. Every man deserves to feel loved. Even the neckbeard nice guy incels that the Witcher hunts. If only they would put themselves out there, they probably could become relatively normy. You'll never truly be Chad, but that's okay. None of us really are. Every Chad you know is dealing with his own insecurities. Anyway, we're getting off topic. What was I talking about? Oh, I was going to do the Slurpee incident. Alright, let's knock that one out. Back into character. Here we go.
I am a Witcher. My path has led me to the slaughter of many artists. They deserve not the good boy points that I take from them. This is a story from my past, before Veronica. The Slurpee incident. At a gas station, loading up on Dewey to wash down my attendees after a fresh kill. Open the cooler doors to get some code red. The entrance doors jingle. The air carries a scent of essential oils and scentsy and plague. I put the Dewey back and steel myself. I peek over the chips. Sure enough, there's a Veronica. Loose ponytail, hoop earrings, leggings that spill out her belly into a muffin top. Not a muffin that I'd want to take a bite of. Usually, Veronicas are nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, she's accompanied by ankle biters. One is holding onto her leg, wasting away. I doubt that it could even stand on its own.
It's become parasitic again. Fascinating.
The other ankle biter is fat, wheezing about, knocking over all of the chips. It's covered in some kind of pox. Neither could have slithered out of her more than 4 years ago. They reek of home remedies and a hospice ward. Anti-vaxxers. I quickly open my satchel and down the entire bottle of golden Oreo. I hope that I can stave off the infection. Veronica is listlessly going through the tabloid magazines, not paying attention at all to its own walking regrets. The fat one stumbles over to a customer waiting in line. It opens its mouth and sinks its fangs into the man's leg. "Dude, what the fuck?" He turns quickly and knocks the fat one down. It begins to wail. The Veronica quickly comes to the aid of its spawn.
What'd you do to my little angel?
Lady, your kid just bit me.
Why'd you let that happen? I'll fucking show you.
He doesn't know that you can't reason with a Veronica. It's only capable of one-way communication. I draw my silver sword and quickly coat it with hand sanitizer. The skinny one skitters up its matron's body and onto her shoulder. It coughs directly into the man's face. My God, he takes a step back to find that his leg is already suffering from advanced necroses. As he collapses onto the floor, he spits up blood. His flesh swells and sores appear all over his body. An elongated scream comes to a climax as his skin ruptures and falls away from the muscle and bone. Blood pools on the floor. The fat one goes over and laps it up greedily. The cashier is stunned. The other people in the gas station quickly exit. The Veronica is texting, no longer paying attention. I draw my crossbow and fire a bolt at the withered creature. The bolt goes wide and topples a Coke display. The beast changes shoulders and hisses. I run from behind cover, straight for the Veronica. I punt the fat one. There's a small arc of pus as it flies through the air and connects directly with the Veronica's face. It falls over backwards and slips on the Coke that was all over the floor. I run and jump, pointing my sword downward. Time to end this before it begins. The lizard-like gremlin launches from the ground and latches onto my face. I miss my landing and crash into the candy aisle. It's spitting, coughing, and trying to claw out my eyes. I grab it with one hand and throw it. It lands somewhere out of sight. The Veronica is up and at full fury.
How dare you? You could have broken my phone.
It begins throwing MLM products out of its purse. I roll away and stand to my feet. I bat natural supplements and overpriced perfumes out of the air. Much like their supposed practical applications, they have no effect on me whatsoever.
This is just ambrosia, you know?
The Veronica shrieks. The fat one stops drinking floor soda and rolls into a ball. With surprising speed, it comes towards me. I go for an arcing upward cut. It evades and gets a glancing blow from the flat of my sword. It spins out of control and crashes through the glass pane door into the parking lot. I charge the Veronica. It goes to throw something. It shouts of protest or unintelligible. My senses focus. I jump and twirl through the air.
But like a manly twirl, though.
Now twirl, honey, twirl. And twirl, honey, twirl.
I land on the checkout counter. The Veronica's head sails through the air and gently falls into the cashier's hands. Shit, what the fuck? I slap him and put a finger to my mouth. Shh. I can hear it. Like a cockroach. It's darting under the aisles and through the wreckage. It's nimble and stealthy. I lower myself down slowly and I walk around the store. The door jingles. A blood and gravel-crusted balloon waddles through the door, the pox on its skin still oozing with pus. My stomach clenches from the stench. Somehow it overpowers even the shitty perfume that permeates the air. Clearly, being non-vaccinated didn't save either of these two from autism. And it rolls into a ball and launches again, its fat rippling like wind in a sail. I line up another slice. It springs mid-roll. My sword passes it in mid-air. It topples me over, and I lose my sword. Before I can gather my senses, my leg sears up with pain. It's bit into my knee, and it's pulling back the kneecap with its teeth. God, it's horrible.
Oh no, not again.
I scream and jam my thumbs into its eyes. The creature squeals, the pus from its sores seeping into my now open knee joint. I hold its head still with my left hand. My knife jams into its neck and severs the spinal column. It goes silent and simply rolls to the side. I still hear the skittering. I painfully stand and push myself up on the drink counter. All is silent. I close my eyes, and then I hear it jump. I open my eyes and snatch the decrepit thing from the air. Deprived of my sword and knife, I open the top of the slurpee machine, and I jam the creature into it. I hold it in as bubbles plop onto the surface. I can feel its fragile bones begin to snap as the machine catches its legs and begins to blend it into the mixture.
Don't drink the Slurpees, everybody.
The police are suddenly at the door, guns drawn. There's a decapitated corpse. A fat, pox-covered toddler has a knife tip sticking out of its spine. The cashier weeps silently next to a severed head. As they look at me in astonishment, the withered creature presses its face against the side of the machine.
You know the little circle where you can see the Slurpee turning?
Before it's finally killed by the motor. I quickly drop to the floor as the police open fire. They'll never understand the life of a witcher, but it's not their fault. The bullets shatter the glass of the coolers, and I reach in and put some Dewey in my satchel. No need for good boy points. I'll take this as payment. I throw a dancing star bomb in the general direction of the officers, and it explodes. I stand and run. I jump through the front window and land. Adrenaline aids my escape as I run down the street. I am a witcher. The life of a witcher is short and brutal, but
I do hope to see some more from this original saga soon. Maybe it's best left where it is. I'm not sure. There's plenty of other urban witchers to get into and their related lore. For now, I'm going to close the book on it, but yeah, if I feel the need for it, we won't be scared to come back and open something new. So thank you guys for watching. As always, friends, sign up on the Patreon or the YouTube memberships if you would. It really helps us out every single month. You can also check out the fourth wall. Like I mentioned, we got a lot of shirts, a lot of merch. You're sure to find something you like. And I'd appreciate it a lot. If you can't afford to do any of that, liking, commenting, subscribing, especially sharing is very important. But if you don't want to do any of these things, if you hated the video, well, I already got your watch time, so I appreciate that a lot. The only thing you could do even more better would be to click another video and watch that. YouTube loves it. I appreciate you guys riding along with me through this extremely wacky ride. And yes, I will indeed see you in the next one, friends. Always remember that you are loved, you are worthy. You definitely deserve it. And I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.